Hello and welcome to the Edward Jones Reporter's Inbox. I'm Marlins MLB.com reporter Joe Frisaro. Let's get right to the questions. Question number one, we got asked about the pitching rotation. Who do I think is going to be the starting five pitchers on opening day for the Marlins on that final roster? Well, actually, we got a little bit of news today from Don Mattingly. He kind of gave a little hint because the Marlins have 7 guys battling for 5 spots. And Donnie didn't dismiss the fact that all 7 could make the team. And with 2 of them, 7 starters for 5 spots and kind of rotating around who might be in need. So what we know for sure right now is Jose Urania will be the opening day starter. After that, we have nothing that's been definitive. But the rotation's kind of been lined up, based on who's following Jose Urania here in spring training. Dan Straley most likely will go number 2, followed by Wei-Yin Chen, then Sandy Alcantara, and then Trevor Richards. Now, the 2 guys that are kind of the swing guys potentially are Pablo Lopez, a right-hander, and Caleb Smith, a left-hander. Caleb is coming off lat surgery. He last pitched in a game in last June. Pablo Lopez, just 23 years old, a rookie last year, missed all of September with a little bit of a shoulder issue. Both of those guys are looking outstanding, and both of them are making a case to make the team. So I kind of think you're going to go with the 5 I had mentioned to start with, and look for the other 2 to kind of mix in and out with guys like Wei-Yin Chen going to the bullpen on occasion, and they're going to have to spot these guys' innings throughout. So it could be a little bit interesting. We've seen teams go with the opener. The Marlins may just go with 7 guys for a 5-man rotation. They might consider a 6-man rotation, but I think that's doubtful. So let's go to question number 2 now. Carlos Gonzalez, should the Marlins sign him? There's a lot of talk going into camp that the Marlins did have interest in Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo would be a very good fit on a team with young players, but right now they've kind of been very committed to going to see if Peter O'Brien can play right field. Keep an eye on Harold Ramirez, a right-handed hitter. He's a non-roster invitee. He's in camp. Austin Dean, you got Garrett Cooper. These guys are candidates to play in the outfield, but I don't disagree. I think, the Marlins, if they could get Carlos Gonzalez on a 3-year, a 1-year deal for like $3 million. Keep in mind the Diamondbacks just signed Adam Jones for $3 million. It kind of sets a little bit of a market for Cargo. I think that actually would be an interesting play. It's me talking. I'm not sure the Marlins are thinking that way, but I think that'd be interesting if they want to change things up a little bit, add a veteran in here with the final 10 or so days before opening day. Cargo could make a lot of sense to them. Let's go to question number 3. This deals with one of the Marlins' young pitching prospects, Jordan Yamamoto, came over in the Christian Yelich trade from the Brewers. Do they expect to see, or do we expect to see Yamamoto being with the big league club this year? Yamamoto, last year he reached as high as AA. I anticipate he'll open the season at AAA. There is rotation depth, as I just mentioned. There's 7 guys for 5 spots. Yamamoto's kind of that next wave of starter. So he's definitely trending towards. I'm not sure 2019 will be the year he arrives. That just depends on how many starters they go through. Keep this in mind. I believe it's the last 6 years the Marlins have used at least 13 different starting pitchers. If they're near that total again, Jordan Yamamoto, very good chance, if healthy, will be one of those at some point in 2019. Otherwise, I think 2020 is more realistic for his arrival. Another one. Let's go. Any chance the Marlins use Wei-Yin Chen as a closer? Now, that's a completely out-of-the-box question because normally a closer is a guy with really big swing and miss stuff and a lot of strikeout potential. Chen is more of a low 90s left-hander who relies on command and pinpoint control. But I get it. They're trying to find different ways to see how to maximize these guys. I see Wei-Yin Chen being used as a starter and a reliever this year. I wouldn't be shocked if he gives them about 15 to 18, 20 starts, as well as that many appearances in long relief. Let's see another one. Let's go with young pitching prospect Sixto Sanchez. They got him from the Phillies as part of the JT Realmuto trade. Sixto Sanchez is the number 27 prospect overall in baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. He is the Miami Marlins' number 1 prospect these days. They got him from, like I said, from the Phillies. Just 20 years old, but keeping this in mind, they're being very, very careful with him. He pitched only about 46 or so innings at high A ball last year for Clearwater, the Phillies' high A advanced affiliate. He had a little bit of a forearm issue. He dealt a little bit with a shoulder issue later on, so they've been really careful. He hasn't really been throwing, advanced throwing programs, so I don't think he's going to see game action until probably May at the earliest. So they're going to monitor Sanchez's innings. He is healthy, but he is also going to be built up and moved along slowly. This guy is drawing Pedro Martinez-like comparisons, so they're going to be very careful in a year like where the Marlins are now, where they got young players and, they may take their lumps. Sixto Sanchez, big part of their future, and they're going to allow him every opportunity to develop. Another one. What prospects get called up this season and get a strong look? I'll look more at the AAA roster. There is a lot of younger prospects, but guys like Monte Harrison, their number 3 overall prospect, outfielder, another guy they got in the trade with the Brewers for Christian Yelich. Monte was in the Arizona Fall League, a ton of power. He's the guy they're ultimately hoping takes over in right field in 2020 and beyond. He's the closest thing the organization has to being a Giancarlo Stanton caliber guy, a guy with really tremendous power, but Monte is really refining his swing, his mechanics, and he struck out 215 times last year in Double-A, hit 19 homers there, and here's a guy with a lot of raw talent, and they're going to just allow him to kind of move along slowly at Triple-A. But if he does really well, if he kind of advances, I wouldn't be surprised if September or even a second half of the season that we could see Monte Harrison in a big league uniform. Another guy we're talking about, second baseman Isan Diaz. Position player-wise, they got Isan as well as Monte and Yamamoto and Lewis Brinson for Yelich. He's projected as the second baseman of the future. Some people say he has a Robinson Cano-like swing. Tremendous power. He's a 20-homer caliber guy at the big leagues for second baseman. That's very rare. But Isan is 22 years old as well, so no need to rush him. You got Starlin Castro in the big leagues right now, and they may move Starlin by the trade deadline, but until then, I anticipate Starlin being here and Isan in AAA along with Monte. Those are the 2 position players to really keep an eye on to make that leap to the big leagues at some point this season. And let's see, what else we got? What's the future for guys like Guerrero and Magneuris Sierra? Gabriel Guerrero, he's the cousin of Vlad Guerrero, the star prospect of the Blue Jays, number 1 prospect in baseball, and I believe the nephew of Hall of Famer Vlad Guerrero. Doing well in camp, but he's a non-roster invitee. He would have to, be put on the 40-man. I think he's going to open in AAA. He's a guy who actually resembles Vladdy Sr. He's got a lot of power, but he's an interesting guy to see how he does in AAA this year. Sierra, he's a real speed guy. They got him from the Cardinals in the Ozuna trade more than a year ago. He just needs time. He's 22, 23 years old. He just needs the at-bats, and a full season in AAA should get him a lot closer to getting to the big leagues. But he has that game-changing speed, which could help in the outfield and on the bases. But foremost, they got to get him, to accomplish and really show success AAA, and then we'll see about the big leagues. And then let's get another question here. Assuming the season goes as planned and we see signs of growth, what do you think the biggest focus should be in 20 and 21 in terms of their offseason, in terms of number of contracts that they may extend and guys that could be contracts coming off the books? Well, after this year, they're going to have Martin Prado's $15 million and Starlin Castro's $11. Those are going to come off the books. So, that will free them up to be a little more active in free agency coming 2020. But more than that, really keep an eye as this organization gets to 20 and then towards 21. They anticipate a new TV deal in place. Right now, their current TV deal pays them less than $20 million a year. It's by far the lowest revenue they're getting from a local TV deal of any team in the majors. But, I'm anticipating they're going to get something that's going to push that number closer to $90 million a year, and that's going to give them a lot of resources, plus an extended new TV deal. There's going to be a little more urgency to put more of a winning product on the field. So I think you're going to see them a lot more active getting veteran-type players in here in 20 and beyond. This might be that final year of kind of having to wear it, as they let guys grow. But look for more activity on the free agent market and spending come 2020. And then the final one, we got the status of Victor Mesa. Mesa, the celebrated international signing from Cuba, along with his younger brother, Victor Mesa Jr. They are both in minor league camp right now. Victor, 22 years old. He, unfortunately for him, only a second or so game of spring training, he suffered a right hamstring strain, running the bases. He right now is in minor league rehab protocol. When he gets ready, he's going to build up in the minor league level. They're not going to rush him. He and his brother, they defected from Cuba last May. They really haven't played organized baseball games in about 20 months. So they need to play a lot of baseball. There's going to be a lot of spotlight on them. Obviously, Cuban-born players playing in Miami, there's going to be, from the fan base, a desire to see them up as soon as possible. But I caution to say, let Victor, get ready, get a full season, and let's reassess him as we go into 2020. Very promising athletic outfielder, a very strong arm, a lot of speed. We don't know how much power he's going to hit for, but all indications are he should hit for a pretty good average. But that's what we got for Victor Mesa. And then that's what we got. Thanks for watching the Edward Jones Reporter's Inbox. I'm Joe Frisaro. Have a great day.